Um, Hi friends, welcome to IPEMA. Um, Today I'm going to share a case of 11 years old boy who came to me for allergic rhinitis and game addiction, and he has a mild autistic traits. I gave mother to write the history form, and these are the data from the history form where she writes that he has a severe allergic rhinitis. It starts with repeated sneezing, and there is a tingling in his nose, and at night he feels his nose is blocked and he is not able to breathe. He is on Monter LC for over a year now and off and on Allegra. It is severe in the morning and at night, and to the extent why literally struggles to settle down and go to sleep. He gets disturbed and agitated when this symptoms comes up, is what mother says. She described his physical disposition as he is very lean and thin, and he is underweight, and his height is also short. Um, she writes that he has this irregulated appetite. Sometimes he has uncontrollable hunger, and sometimes he eats very less. In Craving and Aversion, she writes that he always look forward for variety of food. He loves junk food. He consumes a lot of chocolate, especially when he doesn't find food interesting. She writes that there is one difficulty which has started recently is he has started ordering food very often from outside. His sleep is disturbed, and sometimes he talks in sleep. In nature, she mentions he is very bossy, uh, at home only, but outside he is timid. He gets bored very fast, he is short tempered, and he has no patience. Always needs support from parents. He is not independent enough for his age. He is very selective in his friendship and in socializing, and he doesn't have any interest or hobbies or participate in extracurricular activities. Mother's interview, she shared that he doesn't listen to us. He doesn't believe that his problem is going to get better at all. And by this, she means the nose block, the constant nose block he has. She says we tried steam, we tried giving him ajwain and haldi, but nothing helps him. He says it irritates him. We are giving him Monter 5 ml for almost a year now, every day. He says, whatever you're giving me is triggering my cold bouts. He troubles so much, doctor. He keeps telling us every day that you are my mother and father and you're not helping me. He's so dependent on us for everything. He's very demanding. He insists that A should pick him on the lap and put him to the bed when he has this nose block in the night. His anxiety is really torturing us now. He goes on and on and on. Do something, do something. I have work, so sometimes I have to go and sleep. When A is around, I go to another room. But he makes sure that and point it out that Amma, you don't take care of me. Amma, you ignores me. He just cannot bear me going and sleeping in another room. The reason I do this is I know that Y will not get satisfied with anything. He keeps screaming and shouting in the middle of the night and he doesn't accept any solution. He decides this is how he wants to react, and nothing can change that decision. Another problem recently is that he is not going to school. He has become very stubborn. He was in second grade when the COVID had started, and initially it was everything was all right. But in his fourth grade, teachers had started complaining that he's not attending the class. His performance is deteriorating. He refused to write, and he has completely forgotten the basic math concepts. My husband felt that he has some learning challenge or he's not able to regulate his emotions, and we got him assessed. His IQ is above average. He's in fifth grade, but his assessment shows that he has IQ of eighth graders, but his emotions are unregulated. So looking at this, I gave routine prescription, my typical prejudice drug picture of LICO. Like I took the totality of allergic rhinitis. I consider because parents were focusing so much on the anxiety. He has a social anxiety. He is not able to go back to the school. He's stubborn. He's manipulative. He's demanding. He's gentle and polite outside, and he is angry at home. He's lean, thin. He's intelligent but physically weak. He craves sweets. He craves chocolate, and thermally he is hot. So, Lyco 200, 3 powders per week I gave. After a month, mother said he's definitely better, 60% better. His frequency has come down. It was every day before, to which now it is once or twice a week. But his intensity is same. He still needs it to get fixed immediately. He is very impatient and irritated. He needs constant attention and refuse to go to school still. We are looking for another school which might have little less academic rigor. So I repeated LICO 1M once again, once in 15 days. They didn't turn up for 3 months. After 3 months, mother comes up with new complaints. Or it was there and she didn't mention. So she comes and she says that, doctor, I didn't tell you. He's an adopted child. His nose block was better for 3 months. But his behavior is terrible from last 3 months. We visited several psychiatrists, but no one could clearly diagnose what is the issue. Some said maybe it is a depression, some says it's an anxiety, some are saying it's ADHD, some are saying, it's autism. We visited Fortis, we visited Nimhans. They ruled out ADHD and they said it's a mood swings. We were not sure if homeopathy could help, but you were insistent that, if we consistently follow up, maybe his emotional issue also can be helped through homeopathy. So then we thought, let us give us a try. So then I asked her, tell me what is the issue. So she said it's his screen addiction and the anger issues. He's on the computer for almost 8 hours in a day. As soon as he wakes up, the first thing what he wants is computer. He eats there, he sleeps there, he's constantly playing video games. He refused to go out. He says, I enjoy this and it helps me feel happy. You say you love me, no? So then buy me games and let me play. Either he is constantly complaining about boredom or he keeps nagging us. He need one of us to entertain him or leave him alone in his room with his game. In August, his mood were out of control. He became aggressive. He's getting more and more agitated. He keeps crying. He says, Amma, you're stupid. You don't understand me. He throws pillow, he throws bed sheets, he throws chair. He screams at top of his voice, help me, help me, help me. But he doesn't clearly tell what he needs our help for. He says, Amma, you have no time for me. The only thing which matters to you is your work. You can't say no to me. You are lying that you cannot help me. When I need you the most, you walk away from me. You don't care for me. You know what to do, but you just exit the room. It takes 2 to 3 hours to calm him down. He needs our attention all the time. Sometimes I think it's just him who rules mood of entire house. When he wants to eat, when he wants to sleep, I don't like it. I'm trying to teach him. We need to be considerate of other people also, no? But nothing matters to him. It is just him what is important. Whether I have work or I'm not well, it doesn't matter. He cannot accept no for an answer. He would not accept to wait. When he asked for food, he wants it instantly. He doesn't even want to wait till I prepare the food. So he screams and I have to drop everything and rush and attend to his need. Otherwise he start banging the door and he start throwing things. This new thing which has come up now is for every little request which we make for a day-to-day thing, like simple thing of brushing teeth or having bath, he asks for gifts. He says, get me something, give me chocolate, give me toys. He's very attached with father because father buys him a gift. I am the villain in the house because I say no to things. So it is important for us to notice how this mother is describing that for this child, the world revolves around him. The way he is interacting with the environment, which is parent, is all the time to cater to his need for food, his need for comfort, his need for sleep. his need for entertainment, everything is about him. So just keep this in mind. So I insisted that I want to meet a child. Um, Mother was unsure. She said that we have consulted few of the counselor, and they have asked him to change his behavior and stop his iPad and give him some strategies. And since then, he has stopped going to any doctor. So she said that they are consulting me for allergy, and that's how child agreed to come and meet me. So I asked him, tell me, how can I help you? So he says, I sleep late. I need to turn on one side to sleep. I get very annoyed. My nose is constantly blocked. I'm unable to fall asleep. I feel nose block when I breathe out. I tell them to help me. He points towards the parent and asks them do something about it. But they give me warm water. I don't drink it because it irritates me. It is so hot. So I said, okay, tell me about what you like and what you don't like. He says, I have fear of dark. If I cannot see in the dark, I get panic. I always keep torch besides me. I never stay alone. I always have someone around me. I don't like seeing insects. I feel they are crawling on me. If I see ants' leg, I feel they are on my body. I like dogs and giraffe. I said, why? So he said, dog loves us and giraffe are funny. So it is important to notice also why they like animals. For him, love and fun is important. Um, so then I just casually asked him that, why yesterday after clinic I wanted to have tea and I went into the kitchen and I opened the fridge, but there was no milk and I felt so irritated. So I asked him, does that happen with you also? Sometimes you get angry or irritated or sad about something. He says, Auntie, it happens with me all the time. I tell her to help her. He points towards Amma, but she doesn't understand. See this nose block. I get so frustrated. Something doesn't work out when I cannot do something. Anything is in general, it disturbs me. I cannot focus when I cannot sleep. Something around in the house when I can't do, it angers me. So I said, can you give me a specific example? So he said, I wanted to have French fries yesterday. And I told Amma, but she doesn't understand. She says, why you had ice cream yesterday only? I'm trying to tell her I'm not asking for ice cream, I'm asking for French fries. But she doesn't understand, and that irritates me. See, I'm bored and I want to watch TV. Amma says no. She says go out and play. I'm telling her that I'm playing. I'm playing at home and I like it. But she doesn't understand when I go out and play, it hurts my leg. And that angers me a lot. When I can't sleep, I get very frustrated. So, what is this child telling us through this narration? He's telling that I feel frustrated when thing doesn't go the way I want it to go. Yeah, he's telling that I need things the way I want and when I want. So I asked him, what do you do when you're frustrated? He says, I cry. I ask Amma and Appa to help me. I get so annoyed when they don't help me. I know Amma can help me. See the way he is showing his trust towards his parents. Like he is almost having the faith in his parents that they know what to do. I tell Amma, call the doctor now. Tell her Allegra, which she gave, is not helping me. My nose is still blocked. But she says medicine is going to take time. And that annoys me so much. I don't understand. She doesn't understand me. I have to keep rubbing my nose. It feels so uncomfortable. I can't breathe. They are my parent, no? They have to help me, auntie. So I also inquired about his cravings and his desires. He likes sweets, chocolate, spicy, sour. He's thermally hot, doesn't have much thirst. He sees wild animals in the dream. But what is important, the emphasis which he gave on is I get scared and that's why I hug Amma and sleep. His motions are regular. Now let's try and understand this case through PM. Yeah. Um, so when we are trying to solve the case, there are two things which we see, which is important. The inner age, which is where is this person developmentally, how evolved is this person, how individuated is this person. It is journey from unity to separation. Yeah. So it is important for us to ask ourselves the question, what is this patient reacting to? What is important for him? What issues do they come to us with? So the subjective description with which patients or relative come to us, it gives us the idea about where they are developmentally, how individuated they are. And the way in which they are coping with it gives us an idea about the roles. And the questions which helps us understand this is like how they are dealing with their issues. Like what is it that they do when they face these issues? And these are the objective data. They don't tell us this, but we physicians either interpret this or we will see that as an observable data which comes from the relative. So this intersection, right, the column and the row is what gives us hint about the medicine. So now let's apply this in this case. Um, so what is important to this child? It is food, it is family and fun. Yeah. For food also, what is characteristic? That he needs variety of food. He needs change in his food. One day he wants French fries, other day he wants ice cream. When does he eat food? When he is bored. So it's an emotional need which he is gratifying through food. He eats sweets and he eats chocolates. These are the food which gives us instant energy and satisfaction. So for us, when we are understanding this craving and aversions are also the inclination about the food also is giving us the indication for his inner age. He gets bored and is when he order food. Food needs to be interesting. So for him, food is a source of pleasure. Food is the source of satisfaction. Yeah. And he needs it's instantly. The second important thing here is family. Now what is characteristic in this parenting is like his constant need for attention like an infant, for every little thing, for his sleep, his food, for his fun. He is dependent on parents and he needs it instantly. He doesn't take no for an answer. He's very impatient. Another important thing in the family, what he says is that mother, his relationship with mother. He says, you don't care for me, you ignore me. And that is unbearable for him. So he needs love, care, and attention from the family. Another important thing which we saw is addiction. He is all the time on the screen. And this anger issue, he is not able to regulate his emotion at all. So this food, this family, addiction, and anger points towards the netrum line of development. So we understand the column now. What is the netrum line of development? It is usually patients share the issue around mother-child relationship. They are the issue of nurturance and nourishment, either too much of it or there is a lack of it. The gratification is oral, and hence we see addiction in this case. There are usually trust issue. Either there is too much of trust or there is mistrust. He says, Amma knows what to do, right? And but she's not helping. Um, the pleasure is important, especially through sense organ, like eating, touching. Remember how he says father has to put him on his lap and make him sleep. I want to hug Amma. Food is important at this stage. Um, at this stage, we develop the emotional regulation. So um, this child struggles with it. The patient's mother also write in the history that the child has not grown as per his age. His height is less, his weight is less. So this shows nourishment issue. And emotionally also, he is not mature enough is what she mentioned. Now we understood the column, which is the nourishment nutrition line, which is natrum line. Yeah. Let's understand what is the row now. How do we understand that? Is trying to understand how is this child responding to his issue of not getting attention, of not getting food on time, or not getting his fun needs met with. Yeah, what does he do? He cries. he throws tantrum, he gets angry, he shouts, he screams, and he wants things right now. So again, this is indicating towards the infancy. He is very dependent on his parents for everything. He expects his parents to take care of his physical as well as emotional. Another important aspect which we saw in this case is in his coping is this intense, acute, exaggerated response about his nose block. It's almost like a panic. He says, Amma, call doctor now. So this also again indicates this kind of acute reactions is the hallmark of the infancy stage. Through and through in this case, what we saw is there's something happening to him and he is reacting to it. So I decided to give plant in this case. So we have double infancy now. Yeah. So we have column, which is natrum line of development, and we have a coping in the way of infancy. There's another very characteristic thing which we notice in this case is um, the things which he reacts to is the body. His consciousness is in his body. His nose block, his sneezing, his physical discomfort, and his heightened reaction to it. How many children do we see who has cough and cold and nose block day in and day night, right? But mostly the parent who comes to us for the help, they say, doctor, my child has a fever, or he's not getting cold, he is not getting better with a cold and all. Children doesn't bother, they are bindas. They, even if they have a cold, even if they have a sneezing, they keep playing around. But for this child, it is him who is getting so much bothered. It is him who wants to get relieved in instantly, and he keeps seeking medicine help. So then that becomes characteristic. Yeah. So um, what is important to notice here is small thing bothers him, and that indicates that he belongs to a very early stage of development, and his nervous system is very poor, who is not even able to manage the little discomfort in his physical body. Another characteristic and important aspect of this case is the child's focus. Where is this child's focus? It's inside or outside, whether it's him or it's interaction with the world. What we saw in this case is everything is about himself. It's I, me, and my needs. There is this kind of a self-centeredness which we saw. He says, my nose is blocked, I cannot sleep, I cannot breathe, I want food, I want sleep, I'm bored, buy me gift, give me khana. Yeah. Um, so, and mother also mentions that the whole universe revolves around him. He doesn't care about anybody else. So this kind of a monologue which we hear, I need you and you have to take care of me, even if it is at your cost. This kind of a presentation we see in monocot. It's a kind of a invertebrate in the plant. So I gave him Sekerum 200 once a week. So after a month, mother says it's almost a magic, doctor. He's sleeping well at night. His dependency on the medicine has come down almost 70%. He's willing to consider what we tell him. He start he started going out and playing in the evening. At least for 2 hours, he is out now. His demand for junk food also has reduced. His sneezing is still there, but he is able to manage it now. So I repeat the dose again. And he's 80% better with it. His routine has gone back to how it was pre-COVID. He started showing interest in studies. He is willing and now asking to go to school. I continued the same medicine, but I reduced the frequency once in 15 days. He's still doing better. So they took admission in the previous school and he started going to school regularly. He now goes out and play with his friends every day, and he's able to manage his pressure. Um, he's consistently doing better, and I have stopped giving him medicine from March, and there are no symptoms which have surfaced so far. So let's understand monocot in general. So monocot are evolutionary younger to the dicot. They are very immature. They have only one cotyledon. So even in the monocot personality, we see this kind of a self-centeredness. Their innermost perception, their innermost theme about perception of the world is it's just them. There's no other exist in their consciousness. The challenge starts when they need to interact with this world who works in a dual space. This is when they start feeling sad and lonely. Um, Yaki writes that they are incapable of perceiving the other itself. They cannot see anything beyond themselves. For monocots, the experience of their existence centers around themselves. Um, Secarum falls under Qualis subclass 4 in monocot. Here we see the theme of parting from the family, nurturance, either overgiving or not having enough support. We also see the theme of premature separation or too much of attachment. There is theme of connection and disconnection. We see there is this need for stability. In this group, patient describe the sense of uprootment. They say that I'm not stable, not having stable ground, not having roots. We also see issues around nervous system, digestive system, hormonal issues. Physically, there is an affinity for digestion, allergy, and metabolic issues. Yaki writes about saccharin that it is very good remedy for behavioral problem in the children. Spoiled, capricious children who have a temper tantrum when thing doesn't go their way, just like this child. Anger in children, anger about trifles. Find something wrong with every little thing and they are very discontented. Remember, mother said that whatever I do at night, he is not going to take the solution. Being made from refined sugar, the remedy presents a central issue of inability to digest love. Love is the sweetness of life. So they have this constant sense of lack of love inside them. So they feel forsaken and abandoned. It is a wonderful remedy for orphan and adopted children who has aggressive and hyperactivity issue. There is also a theme of fear of darkness. Dr. Smith writes, they have this voracious need for attention. So attention becomes the central theme for this saccharum. Desire to be held and fondled. There is a jealousy, there is separation, anxiety, homesickness, and sadness. There is restlessness and hyperactivity. There is irritability, fits of anger. Discontentment with himself and everything around him. There is changeable moods and oral fixation. Marison writes that patient feels that some kind of a forsaken feeling inside, the disconnect, and that brings an agitated state in them. Remember this child, mother said that we went from doctor to doctor and he constantly keep on saying, help me, help me, help me. So they are not able to express that feeling of disconnect or alienation which they experience, and that keeps them in that agitated mode. There is also a theme of fear related to darkness and being alone. This child also had that. This remedy has a strong materialistic streak, greed for sweet, hates to lose possessions, equate love with material gifts. The patient becomes excessively demanding when attention and material things are not forthcoming, resulting in discontentment, restlessness, and angry outbursts. As children, they terrorize the house. So, magic sweet pills is what they call. They call homeopathic medicines as sweet, nothing but the sweet pills. But it has helped this child to help him with the lack of sweetness which he has towards his life and his need for attention. So, thank you so much for your patient listening.